Peter on the Let Me Explain show, and I would like to just talk about gentrification and artists in general. So, what brought me to this video is the fact that I've just lost my studio space. What happened was that we were, I think there were 19 or 20 artists in a studio space in Berkeley, and a developer bought the warehouse, and they are gonna do what they do. And I was one of those artists in that studio space, so hence this video. Now, when I titled the video "What Good Are Artists," I didn't mean to be sarcastic or mean about it, but it really made me think and feel what it's like to be displaced, to be put out of your place, to be ripped from your community that you had built, and to have to find a new space, to have to reintegrate into that new space, and continue doing what you're doing. Now, the whole idea of an art space, in my view, is to give an artist that stability to be able to create the work they create without having to assimilate and re-assimilate to a new environment, and unless that's the type of work you do. So it was really jarring for me because I have to now find a comparable space that I can use for my work, comparable in terms of price, comparable in terms of the community around there, and also the space that I work in. So not only is it physically debilitating that I had to move from a space, but it's also really traumatizing in terms of the fact that you get used to the idea of working with a group of people, and that network has its own nuances and its own qualities to it, and all that is lost when people are dispersed. And what does that do to the artistic community? It's a traumatizing thing, and I think trauma is one thing that's really beginning to get on people's radar, that it's deeper than we have been handling it over the years. And as an artist, as an observer, as a viewer of life, as a participant in life, and also one who documents it through an artistic form, I personally felt really violated by that on two levels. Firstly, we never met the developer. We don't know who's taking over. There was no formal introduction to who this person was or what their goals were, and which I think would have been an interesting conversation to have, because if you're talking about development and you displace a community, who's the development for? Obviously we know the answer to that, but what I'm saying is that for the goodness of all, for the wellness of everybody involved, it would have been nice to have some closure around this this type of development, if you may call it that. Well, it is a development, but positive for some and negative for others, as life will have it. So the question, for me, it then begs the question: what good are the arts? Do the arts have a place in this developing economy, in the development of the economy? In what is the artist's place? What value do we place on the arts? Obviously, I have my own take on that. I'm very biased in the fact that I am a visual artist. I interact with other artists, and so my view of that is skewed. But it just made me really want to put that out there, to ask the question: do we really need the music? Do we really need visual arts? Do we need performance art? What good is it? What's the market value of it? We know the art world is manipulated through galleries and investors and so on. But what is the real value of art in our society, and what how do we value the creators of that art? And from my personal opinion, art is everywhere. Art is inspiration. Art is is a portal for hope, for dreams. It's a keeper of the history. You know, we document our lives. It might be my personal life that I'm going through, but it obviously intersects with another person's life, because we live similar existences. We go through similar struggles. So when I think of it, I think we're living in a society that one values the shiny. There's this drive to go for the next shiniest thing. I say shiny now because when you look at technological developments, if we are going to upgrade our devices, for example, because the next one is shinier and bigger, and it performs a fraction of a second faster, then we're obviously a victim to planned obsolescence. And it is through parody that we begin to see the truth of what we do. It is through comedy, for example, performing art, performance art, and any other type of art that may address the subject, that we get to reflect on what we do. But I see no great value placed on an artist who hasn't yet made it to the mainstream. We're not investing as much as we should in the community that gives us the soul and the healing to be able to appreciate life and be well. So I know this has happened a lot everywhere. Artists have been displaced. They're usually the first to be displaced because um, earning in the art world is precarious. You know your income is is um, is tricky and hard. So in conclusion, I'll just say that maybe it's a topic of conversation for our leaders, who shape our communities, who lead us, to say that what is the value of art really? Um, do we need artists in our communities? And if so, why aren't we taking better care of them? I know the argument might come through that, oh, they should work for a living. Yes, I totally agree. And the answer is they are working. They are working for us. Artists are enriching our lives. And what do we give them back? This has been Victor on the Let Me Explain show.